Right, Lukey Met, first player on the pod for 2025 season of OneTake. Cheers for jumping on, bro.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. I thought you were going to say as well, first person to get on the potty ever of all time. Yeah,
Oh,
but it's taken me 2 years to get back on.
yeah, well, we did that pilot ep with
Yeah,
you, didn't we, when
yeah,
you first arrived? It was only a 15-minute yarn, and I could tell you had a lot more to say, so maybe we'll get that out of you today. We're obviously going to talk footy and Vegas, which is just around the corner, and as a fan that's travelling over there, incredibly excited for that. But before we get into that, baby on the way. I've seen your off-season content. You've become a bit of a DIY flat pack god, bro. Tell us a bit more about that.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd say I'm quite that, but yeah, having a little girl. She's
Mm.
due in 2 months, just under 2 months now, so it's getting serious. But yeah, trying to put the flat packs up. That's something that's difficult. Me and my partner Brody have been trying to get them up, and she's been setting the phone up there, and,
Yeah.
showcasing some of our not so talents of putting up the cot.
It's exciting times though, right? First baby on the way. It's
Yeah.
obviously going to be a big change, but a
Yeah.
pretty cool one too.
Yeah, it's awesome. We're stoked. We can't wait to have a little Kiwi baby. Gonna have a little Kiwi passport. Just yeah, I feel like it's just the right time, and yeah, we're been together for a while now. It's just such an awesome time to like think that we're gonna have a little girl. Like I'm gonna be playing these games of footy, then all of a sudden it's just gonna be bang, and I'm gonna have a little baby on the way, and gives that extra edge to something to play for. And yeah, I can't wait for her to get here.
Yeah, that's sick. Obviously, you've pulled on the boots twice this year, but I wanted to go back a bit more to that December, January period of preseason. And it's so cliche. Everyone says preseasons are hard, but this one in particular, bro, it's been longer than
Yeah.
usual because the guys started early. It's been hot in Auckland
Yeah.
too. The boys look fit. I've seen some props rolling around with chiseled jawlines. You guys had a camp, you've been to Bethel's. Like, how was that whole preseason period as a whole?
Yeah, you're right. It was long, especially the year before coming back. We all sort of were back end of November, start of December. So, but I feel like it's a blessing, like coming back, blessing in disguise. Obviously, we didn't make the finals, but being able to come back and have a real big preseason and have a big emphasis on 2025. But yeah, it's been really good. It's like I said, it's been hot. In Auckland, but I feel like we're just the boys have been ready for a while. That's the sense I've gotten. Like we were ready to play, I reckon, a lot longer before that first preseason game against Cronulla. So that was always a good sign. But yeah, now we've played those two games, everyone's just raring to go.
Is it like a good feeling now that it's over? Is it almost relief? Because I can imagine you guys punish each other all training long. You're wrestling, full contact, the works. Then you get to lace up the boots and tackle some opposition. Now that fitness and that grind's over and you get to play footy, right?
Yeah. It's I feel like once you get to that January, sort of towards the end of January, you're sick of putting the jerseys on and going against each other. You just want to have, like I said, you just want to have someone else in front of you to go against and see something a bit different. But yeah, it's also, I feel like we've put our best foot forward. We're going against those opposed against each other. It's been some of the best training, one of the best preseasons I think I've ever been a part of. Just the intensity and just I feel like we just really stepped it up from the past two that I've been here. And yeah, like I said before, I feel like everyone was just we were raring to go before that first trial. So once we got there and then got this second game in as well, like I feel like we're more than ready now to head over to Vegas and get stuck in.
No Tohu, no Jazz, no SJ, guys that have been around the club for a long time and have done many a preseason. Did it almost have a different vibe with guys like that not around, maybe a few young lads coming through too, some fresh energy? Was there a bit of a different feeling to this preseason?
Yeah, there was a little bit, especially with the surprise of Bangers retiring sort of halfway through the preseason. Was a little bit of a shake up. But yeah, it's been I feel like it's allowed a lot of the younger boys to sort of step up and find their voice. Like a lot of the young guys like Dimitrik, Ali, Jakey Laban, Leka, it's sort of given those boys sort of a platform to step up and be encouraged to be leaders, because those guys are future leaders and they're hopefully going to be at the club for another 10 to 12 years. So yeah, it's been really cool in that sort of sense to watch some guys who maybe are a bit reserved or a bit quiet sort of take that next step in their leadership and being a bit more vocal around the place.
2 games in now, so the preseason challenge is done and dusted. A draw and then a big win against the Storm on the weekend, and you've worn the 7 jersey in both of those games. I rate how in the off-season, bro, you came out and you said, I want to play 7. I want to fill that gap that's been left. And you got off to a great start too. Is that something like a transition that you've always wanted to make? Have you always seen yourself as a 7, as that dominant ball player?
Yeah. I felt like when I grew up, I was always that halfback that sort of was like that. And I feel like just sort of as I've gone through the grades, it's probably something that sort of got like stripped back a little bit. Probably some people just saw my speed and stuff like that, which I don't blame them. They see that sort of thing, and I can play that role, and that's the thing. I was happy, and I can play that role, but I always knew and always hoped that one time eventually I would be able to take that next step in my career. But I feel like everything happens for a reason, and I feel like now I'm ready to make that step. Then there's no doubt or no uncertainty in my mind that I'm not ready. I feel like I've had a lot of good mentors along the way. Like when I was young, I went to Manly, I had Daly Cherry Evans and Trent Hodgkinson there, who were it was so awesome for me to go there and see what it takes to be that player and to go to that next level. And if you want to be one of the best players in the game, how hard you've got to work. And then as well, going back to Cronulla and being around Shawnee for the first time, being around Chad Townsend, Matt Moylan, all these guys who have won grand finals, played for Australia, played for New South Wales, and then coming back in, being around Shawnee again. I feel like it's all just led me into the direction where I feel like I am now, and I'm just ready to go.
You said after the Cronulla game that it was special to be wearing the Warriors 7 jersey. You mentioned Sean there, and you referenced Stacey as well, who of course is involved with the coaching staff. Can you touch a little bit more around wearing that kind of famous Warriors 7 jersey?
Yeah, it is cool. I feel like it gives you a sense of like it's like when I actually saw it then put it on for the first time, I was like, oh, this feels good. But yeah, obviously having those two guys, obviously being around Sean at my previous club, like Cronulla, and then coming in, having him in, and having Stacey there to guide us through. Yeah, it's just been awesome. Like having those two to lean on. They've been there and they've done it and at the highest level. So to be able to have those two guys there as a soundboard, and they're like ready, they're any question or anything I could ask. So even Shawnee, even though I probably annoyed him every time we were rooming together on away trips, but I felt like I wanted that knowledge, and I want if I've got a question, I can just ask them. I feel like now I'm just ready to go on with it.
Have you heard from SJ after your first two performances? Has he had any advice or any encouragement or anything like that? Because obviously he's still around a bit.
Yeah, I haven't spoken to him too much about footy, more about other stuff. But we were talking about Vegas actually the other day, and he was telling me when he's going to be over there. So probably catch up with him over there. But yeah, haven't had too much footy talk. He actually came in a few weeks ago and was watching one of our training sessions, and it's been more social talk, but I'm not sure once the season gets started, I'll be hitting him up with a few questions.
Your kicking game, bro, it was one of the first things you mentioned when you walked in here off air, the two 40-20s, but a lot of people, right, and I feel like in the media, once Sean retired, everyone was like, who's going to step up and be this dominant kicker for the Warriors? And I feel like it's a part of your game you've always had, but you haven't really had to show it because Sean's been there, or you haven't had the chance to show it to the level you are now. Do you feel like that's an underrated part of your game?
I think so, and I don't really blame people either, because like I said, I've always been the guy who's worn the number 6 and been that sort of support player, and I've just never really shown that side of my game. So I don't really blame people for not knowing that. Maybe people who sort of saw me when I was younger might know that, like when I come through Harold Matts and SG ball, or something they used to do a lot with my kicking. But it's been awesome to come back in this preseason and want that responsibility and really work hard on it, and it's I can't wait for this season to sort of go out there and execute all the stuff that we've been practicing in the preseason. I just can't wait to actually go do it now.
You're pretty chuffed when you bang that 40-20 on the weekend. What's that feeling like? Because obviously you score tries and things like that. 40-20 is a massive play. They're pretty rare. Do you get pretty excited pulling off like big moments like that can change momentum? Albeit a preseason game, it's still a pretty big play.
Yeah, it is cool. I always have a joke with Stacey and Rich Agar, our attack coach. Rich actually kicked 5 in one game.
Holy!
There's footage of it. I've seen it, and he kicked 5.
What grade though?
He's playing in England. He's playing in England, and he's just torpedoing this year. So I always have a joke with Rich saying I want to overtake him in kick 6.
Yeah, that would be impressive, bro.
Yeah, I know, I never will, but it's just a little running joke I've got with those two.
Yeah, well, it's a handy asset to have. In terms of attack, it looked quite polished on the weekend, especially in that first 40. To score 36 points on any team in 40 minutes of footy is incredibly impressive. You guys look pretty comfortable on that right edge yourself. Marata running down, you had Ali, Tamari Martin out the back too, with Tane on the wing. Starting to form a nice little combination there.
Yeah, it's cool. We've had a lot of reps during the preseason, to sort of touching on before. The preseason's been so long that I felt like we've gotten a million reps defensively and offensively. So feel like we're real comfortable with each other. So I'm real keen to sort of get into the grind of the season and see where we can take it. Because I feel like every game we play, we're going to sort of just understand how each other plays more. Because I've been playing on the left the last 2 years, so to be able to come this side and like how you have Murata there, knowing how he likes the ball, and then you got Ali, who's he's a freak and just so naturally gifted, and he's still sort of finding his feet where positions he likes the ball. So all that sort of stuff, it's exciting that I feel like we've got a good connection at the moment, but I can only imagine what it's going to be like in round 15, round 20. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Is it a tough transition to move from the left to the right? I think Ali was playing some left centre last year too, and now he's on the right as well, but you both made it look pretty easy so far. Is it a massive difference in terms of how you see the game and the different pictures, or is in the modern game, is it left side, right side pretty similar?
Yeah, I feel like when you're like growing up, I was always, just used to go wherever, like when I was younger, just left or right. So it was pretty natural for me sort of doing that. But I know centers are they're a bit more picky, especially if they're the right arm carry or the left arm carry. But Ali, he's shown that he can do it on both. He can, like I saw on the weekend, change the ball from the right to the left. So he's one of those guys that could probably do it on both ends. But yeah, it's obviously, and as a half too, it's a big thing. Like if you're on the right side, your right foot kicker and all that sort of stuff obviously comes into play. But yeah, it's been a cool transition. It's cool to see someone like Ali being able to do it on both sides.
He's a beast, eh? He's just turned 22, 2 tries, 2 try assists, a nice little classy tip on. Like, he's got the power game, strong defensively, and some silky skills. Is it nice having a weapon like that running off your shoulder just outside you?
Yeah. And he's, like I said, he's still so young, so he's only just going to keep getting better. And he really works hard on his craft too. Like you see him when we're doing our attack stuff during the training session, he's really working hard on it. And he'll ask questions. He'll want to know, on this play, like, was I in the right spot, or just little things like that. So he wants to keep learning and keep getting better. He's not just resting on his laurels. So yeah, I think he's in for a real big season.
In the Sharks game in particular, I noticed there were moments there where you're getting the ball at like third receiver, sweeping around a bit. And Webby mentioned pre-game that the attack might look quite different this year. Is that just a way of you keeping your running game? Because you touched on it before, like whenever you've worn the 6 jersey at the Warriors, your running game's been electric. I can imagine at times being that dominant ball player in the 7, it would be easy to go away from that, but it's such a strength of yours as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's all grown in a part of the role. So that's something I never want to lose. Obviously, it's one of my biggest assets, my speed and my running game. And it's obviously a thing too, like knowing how to use your speed. Like it's one thing being fast and doing it, but it's putting yourself in a position to be able to use it. So that's something as well that feel like I'm getting a real good gauge on, and like knowing how to do that. Yeah, but I feel like even playing halfback, you can still, like you see, there's a lot of players in the comp who wear the 7 jersey, but their running game, like it complements their running game because they're touching the ball a lot and they're passing and kicking. It sort of just keeps them in the game. And I feel like that's the sort of player I'm going to be. The more I'm involved in the game and the more I'm around the ball and the more touches, it'll actually open up my running game. That's the sort of sense I've got, and I'm really excited for myself to see it evolve during the year and see what it looks like and see if there's any tweaks but that excites me. That gets me excited knowing that I can still go to another level.
For sure. Defensively, the lads were on as well. To hold that Storm team to nil for 50-odd minutes is impressive. And I've noticed the line speed this year has been really aggressive out the gate. Has that been a big focus in the off-season too, just, defensively being solid?
Yeah. Obviously, I'm out the edges there. So it's always awesome watching our big boys. They often do that. Yeah, it's cool being able to stand out there and watch them go to work. It's awesome, and having Fish this year join him and Barney, Aaron Clark. I can just imagine those boys are going to be working real well together there in the middle. But yeah, it's a big focus point. I would say for a lot of teams it probably is. But yeah, it's something that we try to really work hard on. Try to work hard on in the off season.
You said you play on the edge there, but you got the cut. Obviously Mitch Barnett got it cut up in the first week. Now you've got it in the second. Does that put you like in the enforcer group, you and Mitch together?
I think so, yeah. So I just wanted to join you. Really, I've never been cut on the head. So I just thought, it's pre-season game. I'll just join him. Me on the same level, same scariness. Yeah. Yeah, so I thought I'd get that fear factor level and get a little scar on the eye.
Here we go. On Mitch and Fish, co-captaincy. From the outside looking in, it seems like a great decision. You got the Kiwi captain, and then you've got a current Kangaroo and New South Wales rep as a duo, you don't get much of a scarier combination than that for opposition teams, do you?
Yeah, 100%. And I couldn't think of two better guys to be the captain. Obviously, Barney, everyone saw what he did last year. Though we were losing a few games there and lost a few key players and senior players. And the way he stood up and just carried the team on his back almost was crazy. And just obviously then he got the New South Wales call up, then the Australian call up. And then just to compliment him, having Fish come over, like I said, New Zealand captain. Couldn't think of two better people who lead by their actions, but they're also really good speakers. I know people probably think Fish is a bit more like quiet than that, but when it's to do with footy, he's not. That's what I find. When it's to do with football, he's vocal and he'll talk and everyone will listen. And so I feel like they're vibing real well off each other. They've only played one game together in that first trial, but you can tell that their leadership skills are going to really work well together. And I feel like all the boys are just going to jump on the back of them. Yeah,
I was going to ask who's the one delivering the final message before the lads run out, but a bit of a mix between the two.
Yeah. Obviously, Barney's a real loud talker and a real like a big presence in the team. But yeah, Fish also he has that too. So yeah, it's I'd say it's a bit of a mix.
Yeah. Our recruitment this year has been really solid. Like, we've seen Aaron Clark already. He's had a massive impact in the middle. Tanner Boyd hasn't had a chance to lace up yet, but someone who's been capturing fans' attention is the young lad come across from Cronulla, Sam Healy. Can you tell us a little bit more about him? Did you see much of him coming up through the grades or anything like that? Because, yeah, after the first two trial performances, everyone's pretty excited about his potential.
Yeah, Sammy went really well with their first two trials. I didn't really see much of him at Cronulla because he was a few years younger than me, so I didn't really get to catch too much of him. But yeah, he's gone really well, and he's come in, and I feel like he's learn a lot. Like, you can tell, like we've got a bit of a different system in terms of attack and defense to probably what he's used to. So, but he came in and wanted to learn, and he asked a lot of questions. That's one thing I noticed. With a lot of our attack stuff, he'll come up and really quiz me on it and say, "If we're here, where do you want the ball, or what are you thinking, and what are you looking for?" So that's something with Sammy that he's really he's a bit of a student of the game, and and you see he brings that nice element of running. Like, he likes to run. He's actually a bit of a bigger body than I thought. Yeah, I saw
the captain's run, walk around shirtless pick at the beach. I was like, straight.
He'd be 6'1", probably 6'1". Like, he's not your traditional shorter, stockier hooker that's like built. So he still can probably put on a couple kilos, and I'm really excited to see Sammy go this year. I think he's going to go really well.
We're a week out now from boarding a plane to Vegas. Well, we are. You're just days away, right? But how exciting is this as an opportunity, like, to head to the entertainment capital of the world, to play at Allegiant Stadium, which is one of the most expensive stadiums in the world, hosted the Super Bowl last year, home of the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, in terms of representing the game on the world stage, but also the Warriors on the world stage, you must be fizzing.
Yeah. I'm a big NFL fan too, so it's cool. Especially, like I said, Super Bowl last year, and just watching obviously the Raiders run around there. It's such a cool looking stadium, and it's pretty much brand new. But it's awesome to be able to go over there and play a game of rugby league in the States to begin with, but then going to Vegas, like it's the sports capital of the world, you could say. And it's just so awesome. I can't wait to get over there and just experience it all. But then just the thought of like running out there and playing there just gives you a good buzz, and I just can't wait to kick off our season there. I think it's going to be a real good way to start the year.
Has it been hard having it in the back of your mind? Obviously, like, round one is always a target. You want to be available for round one, but then that extra carrot of Vegas.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's obviously it's a massive thing. It's like you're getting to go over there and represent the NRL, and I'm pretty sure our game is going to be broadcasted on Fox 1 in America. So just something like that. It's just cool when you see like Aaron Woods is over there at the moment, like promoting the game.
He was just on WWE.
I saw that.
Unreal.
On WWE. So just things like that, because everyone knows America's that Hollywood and all that sort of market. So it's just cool to be able to go over there and showcase our game.
You said you're an NFL fan. The thought of potentially Gronk or Tom Brady, these names been thrown around, watching you carve up, that must be pretty cool.
That'd be sick if one of I know last year a couple like Puka Nakua from the Rams turned up, and I think there was a couple other guys. I'm not too sure, but so like if we could have a couple big names like that turn up, so that'd be awesome.
Obviously, it's a business trip and you're going over there to get the points. But in terms of itinerary, like, do you guys get to go to any NHL games? Do you get to do some of the touristy stuff, or is it just straight lock in?
I think we've got a hockey game pretty early on in the week. Like, I think that we land in the middle of the day or something like that, and then we have a hockey game the first night. So that'll be good. Just like a little bit of team bonding there the 1st night. Go to the hockey and experience that. That'll be pretty cool. But yeah, they haven't really got anything other than that locked in, I don't think.
Yeah. And obviously the charter flight sold out pretty quick, and there's thousands of other Warriors fans making their own way there as well. How cool is that going to be to see the fan base travel with the boys as well and take that support that we had here at home last year on the road?
Yeah, that'll be awesome. Yeah, I remember hearing last year when they came out, Warriors tickets were the first sold out or something like that, and they sold the most tickets in terms of all those flights and all that stuff. So yeah, it's going to be awesome to hopefully have a home sort of feel to it, playing away, because I know that the last couple of years we've had that feel going to Australia, and it's almost felt like it's a Warriors home game. So yeah, that'd be awesome if we could replicate that over there.
Finally, bro. The fields are a bit smaller, and you guys actually played on the field, replicated the size on the weekend. Did you notice it that much? And how big of a head start is that, getting the opportunity to play on a field that small? Because I don't know if the teams last year
did that,
adjusted.
Yeah, well, you could notice, I reckon. Like when you're out there, you could notice it was a little bit skinnier. But I think in the whole like sense of the game, you're probably not noticing. But I feel like when you're like, if you're really actually thinking about it, you can notice. But yeah, it was cool to, like I said, actually get a game on it and sort of get a feel for it and see if there's anything different. And yeah, I don't think any of the other teams last year or anything got to do that. So yeah, we're pretty lucky that they brought the field in.
Happy days. Well, cheers for jumping on, bro. Obviously, see you over in Vegas, and all the best for round one.
Sweet. Thanks, brother. Thank you.